Well, this is the Tuppada Avalakki. That Avalakki is as light as air.
Very light air.
This is such a happy snack. This is Jolada Vada.
Jolada Vada, sir. It's made out of jawar flour.
It's best enjoyed with the kempu khara, but then also with a liberal helping of the masuru. ಹೇಗಿದೆ masala khara?
ತುಂಬಾ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿದೆ.
Susla.
ಇದು ಆಕ್ಚುಲಿ ಸೂಸ್ಲಾ ಇದೆ.
ಇದು ಆಕ್ಚುಲಿ ಸೂಸ್ಲಾ. ಸೊ ಇವರು ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ ಇದು
ಸೂಸ್ಲಾ.
ಮಂಡಕ್ಕಿ. ಗಿರ್ಮಿಟ್. ನಾನು ಹೇಳ್ತಿರೋದು ಮಂಡಕ್ಕಿ. ನೀವೇನು ಹೇಳ್ತಿರೋದು? ಸುಸ್ಲಾ. ಸೊ ಈಗ ವೋಟ್ ತಗೊಳ್ಬೇಕು ನಾವು. Well, they say when you're in Dharwad, you have to visit L.E.A. Canteen.
Yes, L.E.A. Canteen.
And that is where my friend Ravi Ganachari has brought me. You will recognize Ravi from previous episodes of Gourmet on the Road, because after all, it's him and his family who own and run Basaveshwar Khanavli. And they come from Dharwad. Their first outlet was here in Dharwad. So he's taken it upon himself to introduce me to the culinary pleasures that lie within L.E.A. Canteen Dharwad. And that's his brother, Mr. Channa Basu.
ಸರ್ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ತುಪ್ಪದ ಅವಲಕ್ಕಿ ಗಿರ್ಮಿಟ್ಟು ತುಂಬಾ ಫೇಮಸ್ ಇದೆ. ಚಕ್ಲಿ,
ತುಪ್ಪದ ಅವಲಕ್ಕಿ, ಗಿರ್ಮಿಟ್ಟು, ಜೋಳದ ವಡ.
ಜೋಳದ ವಡ. Churmuri, ಮಂಡಕ್ಕಿಗೆ.
ತುಪ್ಪದ ಅವಲಕ್ಕಿ. ಈ ಕಪ್ಪುವ.
Oh, ಇದೇನು ಸ್ವೀಟಾ ಖಾರವ?
ಎರಡು ಇರ್ತದೆ ಸರ್.
Some coconut in there, some coriander, onion. So they're portioning the Tuppada Avalakki here. Well, I think everybody is enjoying their tiffin here. Hello, how are you? What should I taste? Tuppada Avalakki.
Tuppada Avalakki you should try. And Mirchi bhaji.
Mirchi bhaji. You know, when you're in an eatery, always look at plates and see the plate which is the most empty. Andre adu khushi agide. That's what people have like. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಕೇಳಿ ಏನಿದೆ ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ, ಏನಿತ್ತು ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ. And in this there was a Tuppada Avalakki.
And even I'm now trying for a toast.
Toast.
Bread toast, they put some powder and with the butter, and it is really well.
Fantastic. There's some Mirchi bhaji in progress there. Namaskara. What's your name?
Abhilash.
Abhilash. So you're the third generation.
Third generation. My grandfather had started this, and I'm looking after it now.
So why the name L.E.A?
It's a society, sir. It's a Lingayat Education Association.
Okay.
It's a society canteen actually. We have been running it from last 70 years.
70 years.
23 actually. Yeah.
73 years. When I told people I'm going to Dharwad, they said you have to go to L.E.A. Canteen. Ravi ಅವರು ಸಹ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರು, you have to have the Tuppada Avalakki, Mirchi bhaji,
Girmit.
ಆಮೇಲೆ ಗಿರ್ಮಿಟ್,
Bread toast and
ಬ್ರೆಡ್ ಟೋಸ್ಟ್. Yes. ಬ್ರೆಡ್ ಟೋಸ್ಟ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಏನಿದೆ?
it's putani chutney,
ಪುಟಾಣಿ ಚಟ್ನಿ,
which goes along with butter and ketchup.
and with ಬೆಣ್ಣೆ. Very little ಬೆಣ್ಣೆ. Definitely the quantity the doctor ordered, but enjoy. When somebody gives you butter and ghee with love, never say no.
Exactly.
If you've seen my videos enough, you know that.
I always follow you. That's the reason I'm taking them also.
Don't tell that to anybody else, though. Your doctor especially. Enjoy, happy eating. Can we see the kitchen? Well, there's dosa happening. Dosas are popular, really.
Yes, it's a part of the menu.
Part of the menu. So tell me, Abhilash, how did that bread toast come into existence here?
My grandfather started, sir, actually. Before what we used to, now we are giving this butter thing. Before my grandfather used to give cream along with that.
Cream?
Cream.
Ah.
Yeah, now...
Cream kashta.
Yeah, before we used to get a generous amount of cream with the milk. Now we don't get it.
Okay. So ಈಗ butter ಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀರಾ?
Yeah, ಈಗ butter ಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ.
ಇದು ಏನು salted or unsalted?
Unsalted.
Unsalted butter. So ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಅದು ತುಪ್ಪ ಆಯಿಲ್ ನಲ್ಲಿ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ?
ತುಪ್ಪ ಸರ್.
ಇದು ಬ್ರೆಡ್ ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಹೊರಗಿಂದ ಬರುತ್ತೆ?
ಹೊರಗಡೆಯಿಂದ from hubli we get it.
From hubli. Oh, that's an interesting masala dosa. I haven't seen it before. So he takes one masala dosa,
cut it into half,
and cuts it into two. But divide ಮಾಡುವಾಗ ಪಲ್ಯ ಡಿವೈಡ್ ಆಗಲ್ಲ, ಪಲ್ಯ ಸೇಮ್ ಕ್ವಾಂಟಿಟಿ ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ. Oh, that's a great idea. I wish more eateries would do that. ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿದೆ ಅಲ್ಲ? ಅರ್ಧ ದೋಸೆ ಮಾತ್ರ ಪಲ್ಯ ಫುಲ್.
ಪಲ್ಯ ಫುಲ್.
ಕಟ್ ದೋಸೆ, ಕಟ್ ಮಸಾಲ ದೋಸೆ.
ಮಸಾಲ ದೋಸೆ.
So ಇದು roasted gram flour.
Roast ಮಾಡಿಬಿಟ್ಟು grind ಮಾಡಿ ಅದರ ಜೊತೆ chili powder and this stuff will mix up.
Okay, that's it. So that is the
Bread toast.
bread toast. ಬೆಣ್ಣೆ, ketchup, ನೀರುಳ್ಳಿ ಜೊತೆಗೆ. Certainly something that we want to try here, that bread toast. ಇದನ್ನು ಚಾಯ್, ಟೀ ಆಗ್ತಿದೆ.
These vessels are from my grandfather's days.
ಇದು ನೋಡಿ ಬ್ರಾಸ್ ವೆಸಲ್.
Yes, sir.
ಬ್ರಾಸ್ ವೆಸಲ್ ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಕಾಣುತ್ತೆ? ವೆರ್ ಯು ಸಿ ಬ್ರಾಸ್ these days in the kitchen?
ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ಅರೌಂಡ್ half an hour ಬಾಯ್ಲ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಸರ್. ಟೀ ಪೌಡರ್ and decoction. We make it a decoction, then we mix it with the water.
So you will make that decoction for 30 minutes.
30 minutes we'll boil it.
You will boil it.
Boil this.
It's like a thick tea.
Thick tea.
So your tea is special, is it?
It's very special.
ಇದೇನು ಜೋಳದ ವಡ?
ಜೋಳದ ವಡ ಸರ್. It's made out of jawar flour. It's mixed with wheat flour.
So for that gluten you need that. Then she puts some till seeds on that. ಅದು green color ಹೇಗೆ ಬರುತ್ತೆ?
Green chilies grind ಮಾಡಿ ಹಾಕಿರ್ತೀವಿ ಸರ್. Green chili, coriander, mint leaves. 2 years back we have been doing.
Oh, this is a new item. So even a 73-year-old place is also creating new things.
This is common in our area, but they never used to serve it in hotels.
Yeah?
Hotels ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಹಳ್ಳಿಯಲ್ಲೆಲ್ಲ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ಅದನ್ನ. ಹೋಟೆಲ್ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಯಾರು ಇನ್ನೂ ಮಟ್ಟ ಮಾಡಿರಲಿಲ್ಲ. ವಿ ಥಾಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಇದು ಒಂದು ಓಲ್ಡ್ ಇದನ್ನಾಗೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಅದನ್ನ ಇಂಟ್ರೊಡ್ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡೋದ್ರಿಂದ ಇಟ್ ಸೂಟ್ಸ್ ಅವರ್ ಆಂಬಿಯನ್ಸ್ ಅಂಡ್ ಇಟ್ ಸೂಟ್ಸ್ ಅವರ್ ಹೋಟೆಲ್ ವಾಟ್ ವಿ ಫೈಂಡ್.
ಫ್ಯಾಂಟಾಸ್ಟಿಕ್. ಸೊ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಜೋಳದ ವಡೆ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ, ಆಮೇಲೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಮಿರ್ಚಿ ಬಜ್ಜಿ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ. ಇದು ಹಿಟ್ಟು ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಿದೆ?
ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಸ್ಪೆಷಲ್ ಅದ್ರಾಗೆ.
ಸ್ಪೆಷಲ್ ಓಮ ಇದೆ. ಓಮ
ಇದೆ,
ಜೀರಿಗೆ ಇದೆ, ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ
ಮಸಾಲೆ ಇದೆ.
ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಮಸಾಲೆ ಇದೆ, ಸ್ಪೆಷಲ್ ಮಸಾಲೆ. ಇದು ಹಿಟ್ಟು ಮಾಡುವಾಗ ಬಿಸಿ ಆಯಿಲ್ ಹಾಕ್ತೀರಾ? If you look at the number of mirchi bhajis that's being fried here, there's already some on the tray there and some here. Gives you an idea of how popular it is. Oh, double fry. So gari ಬರುತ್ತೆ, crunch ಬರುತ್ತೆ, golden color ಸಹ ಬರುತ್ತೆ. Fantastic. Look at what's on the tables and then it'll tell you what to order. That is something I definitely want to taste. ಜೋಳದ ವಡ ಅಲ್ಲ? ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿದೆಯಾ? ನಾನು ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಟೈಮ್ ನಾನು ಟ್ರೈ ಮಾಡಿಲ್ಲ ಇವರೆಗೆ. ಮೊಸರು ಮತ್ತೆ ಅದೇನು? ಕೆಂಪು ಚಟ್ನಿ. ಇಲ್ಲ, ನಾನು ಆರ್ಡರ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೇನೆ. ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು ವೆರಿ ಮಚ್ ಸರ್. ವಾಟ್ಸ್ ಯುವರ್ ನೇಮ್?
ಪ್ರವೀಣ್.
ಥ್ಯಾಂಕ್ ಯು ಪ್ರವೀಣ್, ವೆರಿ ಕೈಂಡ್ ಆಫ್ ಯು. ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್ ಏನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು? ಗಿರ್ಮಿಟ್ ಮಾಡೋರು ಅಂದರು. ತುಪ್ಪದ ಅವಲಕ್ಕಿ, ಚುರ್ಮುರಿ, ಬೆಳ್ಳುಳ್ಳಿ ಚುರ್ಮುರಿ, ಮಿರ್ಚಿ ಬಜ್ಜಿ.
ಬರೀ ಮಿರ್ಚಿ
ಬಜ್ಜಿ ಬರೀ ಮಿರ್ಚಿ ಅದು. ಸೊ ಮಿರ್ಚಿ ಬಜ್ಜಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಏನು?
ಬಜ್ಜಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಮತ್ತೆ ರೌಂಡ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಬರೀ ಮಿರ್ಚಿ ಅಂದ್ರೆ
ಸೊ ಬರೀ ಮಿರ್ಚಿ ಕೊಡಿ. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಬ್ರೆಡ್
ಟೋಸ್ಟ್.
This place certainly has a fair bit of buzz. ಸುಮಾರು ಕ್ರೌಡ್ ಇದೆ ಇಲ್ಲಿ.
ಫ್ಯಾಮಿಲಿ ಬೇರೆ ಇದೆ.
There's a family section in there. And there's a family section there too. So this is a place that's over 70 years and it is still popular to this day. I think people are enjoying that mirchi. Are you from Dharwad? From Hubli. So when you come to Dharwad, you come here. Well, this is the Tuppada Avalakki. I'm happy that I have Ravi and his brother here today because we can taste many things. Let's go for that. Tuppada Avalakki. That Avalakki is as light as air.
Very light air.
And that Avalakki has been mixed with the onions, some grated coconut there, some coriander that's gone on top on garnish. And the tuppa is used to moisten that Avalakki. The moment you place that Avalakki in your mouth, you can taste the flavor of that onion. The besan chow chow.
Besan chow chow.
That adds an element of savory crunch. And ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ sugar ಇದೆ ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ.
ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಲಿಂಬು ಇದೆ.
This is such a happy snack. That poha, that avalakki is as light as air. That grated coconut brings with it a bit of sweetness. Then there's a sweetness that comes from some added sugar into it. And then you have the crunch of the onions. The onions, because they have also been mixed into the poha, are quite dominant in their presence. You can definitely taste the onion the moment you place a spoon of the poha in your mouth. And that crunch of the save cuts through all of that. Definitely something to try.
Masala khara.
Masala khara has come. We haven't ordered it, but I think we'll taste it, but I don't want to let go of my Tuppada Avalakki. It's as tasty as that, huh? Delicious. ಹೇಗಿದೆ ಮಸಾಲ ಖಾರ?
ತುಂಬ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿದೆ.
I was questioning Abhilash, ಯಾಕೆ ನನಗೆ ಇದು ಕೊಟ್ರಿ, ನನಗೆ ಬಾಕಿ ಟೇಸ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಲಿಕ್ಕೆ ಆಗಲ್ಲ. But for some reason he thought I should taste it, and I'm glad that I'm tasting it.
ನಾವು ಹಂಗೆ ತಿಂದುಬಿಡ್ತೀವಿ ಇದನ್ನು.
There's some khara mixture, there's some cornflake, there's some peanut, there's some onion, some coriander, some coconut, etc. Has been mixed together, has been moistened with some limbe hanu juice, some lime juice. And then I suspect there's some sugar too that has gone into it. So what you're tasting really is a khata meeta sort of a tiffin item. I love the crunch that you get from the save. So you have the crunch at first, and then immediately the moistness of that mixture takes over thanks to the lime juice. They put the sugar powder into it, so therefore that sugar is also integrated. So every bite that you take, every particle that you taste of this masala khara,
ಮೇನು ಇದೆ, ಮತ್ತೆ ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ಶೇಂಗಾ ಬೀಜ ಇದೆ.
ಶೇಂಗಾ ಬೀಜ, the nuttiness of the peanuts. The masala is in the mixture. There's no other masala.
ಪುಟಾಣಿ ಕಲಿಸ್ಬೇಕು.
Like how they make a mandaki, they also put some roasted gram flour while they're mixing it. So you're also tasting that in the texture. There's a slight grainy texture that you have. This is a dish that found its inspiration perhaps in the mandaki. This place is full of the hustle and bustle, and that's what you will also hear in this video. It's a happy bustle of people tucking into their tiffin here at L.E.A. Canteen in Dharwad. Next, no mirchi bhaji, only mirchi. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಇದು ಮಂಡಕ್ಕಿ, ಗಿರ್ಮಿಟ್.
ಮಂಡಕ್ಕಿ is beluli churmuri.
ಬೆಳ್ಳುಳ್ಳಿ ಚುರ್ಮುರಿ.
ಮಂಡಕ್ಕಿ we call churmuri.
ಸೊ ದಾವಣಗೆರೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಬೇರೆ ಕರೀತಾರೆ.
ದಾವಣಗೆರೆಯಲ್ಲೆಲ್ಲ ಮಂಡಕ್ಕಿ ಅಂತಾರೆ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನಮ್ಮ ಸೈಡ್ ಚುರ್ಮುರಿ ಅಂತ.
You know, I've just traveled day before. I was in Davangere, yesterday hubli, today Dharwad. So I am beginning to learn that what is mandaki there is churmuri here. Yeah. And what is the oggarne there is the girmit here. So I think there are these nuances. So is there also a change in the flavor?
Definitely. ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಹೆಸರು ಇದೆ, ಸುಸ್ಲಾ ಅಂತೇಳಿ.
ಸುಸ್ಲಾ.
ಇದು ಆಕ್ಚುಲಿ ಸುಸ್ಲಾ ಇದೆ.
ಇದು ಆಕ್ಚುಲಿ ಸುಸ್ಲಾ. ಸೊ ಇವರು ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ ಇದು
ಸುಸ್ಲಾ.
ಮಂಡಕ್ಕಿ. ಗಿರ್ಮಿಟ್. ನಾನು ಹೇಳ್ತಿರೋದು ಮಂಡಕ್ಕಿ. ನೀವೇನು ಹೇಳ್ತಿರೋದು? ಸುಸ್ಲಾ. ಸೊ ಈಗ ವೋಟ್ ತಗೊಳ್ಬೇಕು ನಾವು. But nonetheless, I'm sure the flavors will be delicious. Let's get to that. Whether it is the Girmit or the Susla, I'm sure either way, all roads will only lead to deliciousness here at L.E.A. Canteen. I'm going to go for that Susla athava Girmit. I want to taste first that the mandaki, the soaked mandaki just by itself, because that mandaki has been mixed with that oggarne. So the mandaki that I'm tasting here is quite more mellow.
ಈರುಳ್ಳಿ ಕಾಣುತ್ತೆ ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ.
ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಆನಿಯನ್ ಇದೆ.
ಆನಿಯನ್ಸ್ ಟ್ಯಾಮರಿನ್ ಫ್ಲೇವರ್ ಜಾಸ್ತಿ.
ಟ್ಯಾಮರಿನ್ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಸಾರ್ ಇದೆ. The crunch of that save is quite special and it's quite flavorful. I think this save is adding a very special layer of flavor and crunch to the mandaki that we are tasting now, and also to that Tuppada Avalakki that we tasted earlier. And that save, I'm told, is handmade by the kitchen here at L.E.A. Canteen. There's plenty of onions in this. That's where most of the flavor comes from, in that oggarne that goes into the making of this mandaki. Girmit. Or usli.
ಗಿರ್ಮಿಟ್. ಉಸುಳಿ. ಸೂಸ್ಲಾ.
Susla.
ಉಸುಳಿ ಬೇರೆ ಮತ್ತೆ.
Okay, usli bere ಇದೆ.
ಉಸುಳಿ ಬೇರೆ ಇದೆ.
So they cut the mirchi so that when it's deep fried in oil, that mirchi doesn't explode. And it also cooks all the way in. The batter almost has a bready texture of sorts, and within that bready texture is cocooned that mirchi. There's also some ajwain that I'm tasting in the batter. The om
ಕಾಳು and jeera.
Oh, chutney ಅದರೊಟ್ಟಿಗೆ. ಚಟ್ನಿ ಒಟ್ಟಿಗೆ.
ಚಟ್ನಿ ಒಟ್ಟಿಗೆ.
This chutney, I'm told, is a combination with the mirchi. ಚಟ್ನಿ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಖಾರ ಇದೆ ಅಲ್ಲ?
ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಖಾರ.
ಮಿರ್ಚಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಅಷ್ಟು ಖಾರ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಮಾತ್ರ ಚಟ್ನಿಯಲ್ಲಿ ಖಾರ ಇದೆ. I think also when you deep fry mirchi, I think it also tones down its heat content. So you're not really tasting it as spicy as you would in a typical mirchi. And you're thankful for that. And also the combination with that bready gram flour batter that is flavored with some ajwain. I think there's also some other ingredients. There's ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಖಾರ ಪುಡಿ ಹೋಗುತ್ತೆ.
ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಲೈಟ್.
I think that also tones down the spice of the mirchi. So if you want the spice, the heat, then you got to go for that chutney. That chutney in generous quantities. And that's how you do the mirchi with the chutney here in Dharwad. Beluli Churmuri. That churmuri is as light as air. But the flavors, especially the spice, khara is there. The khara is quite intense, and then there is some sugar and the gram flour. So illi cooking nalli gram flour sumar use ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ.
ಸುಮಾರು ಯೂಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಅದು ಹಾಕಲಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಟೇಸ್ಟೇ ಬರಲ್ಲ.
ಹಾಕಲಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂದ್ರೆ ಟೇಸ್ಟ್ ಬರಲ್ಲ. And I think the gram flour is also a great vehicle for all the flavors. So all the masalas, I think they cling on to that gram flour, and as you taste that gram flour, as you place some of that churmuri in your mouth, the churmuri is light and disappears rather quickly. But that gram flour that coats your tongue also carries with it the weight, the flavors of the masala. Be it the chili powder, be it some of the other ingredients that go in, that's what that gram flour does. And I think that's where the gram flour finds a prominent place in many of the mandaki, churmuri, girmit sort of creations that you find in this part of Karnataka. There's some curry leaves as well. And I think this is a special ingredient. This save. I think this save definitely elevates the appeal of all the Girmit's mandakis that I've tasted here, with its texture and also the flavor that also comes from the oma. I think when you come here, you should come in a group of 3 or 4 people.
Yeah.
That's when you can do full justice. Like this, a neighboring table that has polished off the Tuppada Avalakki. You got next in there? Next in Girmit. Come in a group of 2 or 3 and taste, I think, pretty much all that's on the menu here. Bread toast. Well, I'm going to do exactly what they suggest I do. Unsalted butter. Spread it quite liberally over that toast that already is toasted in some ghee butter combination. And then some of that ketchup. And that, I'm told, is the way to savor the L.E.A special toast here in Dharwad. Ravi tells me bhala different there.
ಇದು ಕರೆನ್ಸಿ ಇದೆ, ಇದು ಸಾಫ್ಟ್ ಇದೆ, ಮೇಲೆ ಬಟರ್ ಏನಿದೆ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಕರೆನ್ಸಿ ಇದೆ.
And because that bread is toasted in that butter and ghee combo, the bread itself carries some weight. And then on top of it, when you slather decadent amounts of the benne and then also include the ketchup, the flavors of the salt that perhaps convey you back to a midnight snack if you were in a boarding school somewhere. All that you would have is a piece of bread. You probably smuggled some butter into your dorm, and ketchup is always handy. Of course, the only difference here is that they've toasted the bread nicely to give it that crunch. So it's a sort of bite that takes you back to perhaps a happy place growing up. And I'm told you got to do a bite of the toast and a crunch into that onion. So I guess if you've grown up with these flavors, I think it's a sort that will take you back to happy times. Because after all, it's bread toasted in that ghee and butter and slathered with a liberal measure of comforting butter and topped with some ketchup. What's there not to like? I think the onion helps cut through some of the excesses of that toast. I love this puffy, what they call a vade. Jolada Vada. This is almost like a pillow of hair, and there's some sesame seeds that are sprinkled on top. And what's also interesting is that dough is almost slightly green in color, and I'm told there's some chili and some herbs. Coriander over there.
Coriander, the mint irutte.
There's some herbs that have gone into it, and that's what gives it that color. But let's break into that puffy Jolada pillow. You can see the color of the herbs. Some green chili, some coriander, some mint, I'm told. What's interesting about the texture is that it's almost paper thin on one side, quite translucent, and it's a little bready on the other side. And as I'm chewing on that Jolada Vada, I can also taste a bit of the prickly tinge that comes from some green chili. I think there's definitely quite a bit of green chili that goes into this. And the combination is with the masuru and also with that kem chutney. I'm going to go first with that masuru. Get some of that masuru and some of that kempu khara. There's loads of garlic too that I'm tasting in that kempu khara. So it's a byadgi medicine kind. So ashtu khara illa. But what you're tasting is more of the garlic. Solpa ಏನು ಹಾಕ್ತೀರಾ ಬೆಲ್ಲ ಹಾಕ್ತೀರಾ ಏನು ಹಾಕ್ತೀರಾ So there's some bella as well. So I think a lot of the condiments, a lot of the chutneys are always about balance. So there is some heat, there is some sweetness somewhere. There's also a bit of tartness. There's also some tamarind that's gone into it. I think that's what makes for a good chutney. A good chutney should have a balance of heat, some sour and some sweet. Boy, I'm enjoying this. I think this will make for a delicious partner to that Jolada Vada. It's best enjoyed with the kempu khara, but then also with a liberal helping of the masuru. Tuppada Avalakki, Jolada Vada, ಮತ್ತೆ cha. You can certainly taste the tannins in the tea because the tea has been brewed for about 30 minutes in that brass vessel. And as that decoction thickens, so does the intensity of the tannins in the tea. Cha chanagide. Super. Nimdu cha aitu?
Cha aitu sir. Nimdu aitu cha. Cha kududvi. Cha aitella. Cha
kududvi.
Cha kududri.
Adalli ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಆ ತರ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ.
Cha kududira?
Cha.
Cha kududri.
Cha kududri. ನಾನು ಚಾ ಕುಡ್ದಿದ್ದೇನೆ ಕರೆಕ್ಟಾ ನೀವು ಕುಡಿದ್ರಾ But thank you very much Ravi for bringing me here. I enjoyed this very much, and if you find yourself in Dharwad, definitely make it a point to visit L.E.A. Canteen. Taste all the dishes that I tasted, and don't forget to leave before tasting that cha. So the cha becomes chaha here.
Cha.
Okay, it's like the mandaki, Girmit and the Susa. We can never agree on what it should be called, but if you're here, definitely make it a point to visit L.E.A. Canteen. Savor all the dishes that we tasted. Definitely that Tuppada Avalakki and that special masala khara. That is something that you should not miss. And the Jolada Vada to taste something truly different. To taste a delicious, puffy, light as air avatar of the nourishing jowar. And don't leave without tasting the tea. I hope you've enjoyed this episode of Gourmet on the Road. Until the next time, take care, stay safe, and happy eating. If you'd like to support the work that we do at Food Lovers TV, do consider joining our membership community on YouTube by hitting the join button below or on the home page. You could pledge a nominal sum and receive special privileges like behind the scenes footage, shoot updates, access to live Q&As and a lot more. You could support us on our Patreon page as well. For more info, check out the links in the description below. If you like this video, don't forget to subscribe, like, share and leave a comment below. Happy eating!